it has benefits, advantages. If I begin, and if that's what we're going to talk about today, we can't even imagine the benefits of being a calm parent. So yes, it's very important.
Yes, definitely. It is very important, and that is why we are here today to create an awareness among us, among our participants, and through us and through our participants, this will be spreading in our society that why calm parenting is so important.
I'll tell you why it's very important. I know, okay, I'll tell you. The thing is that whenever we are approaching our children's behaviors or our children from a place of calm, we are actually approaching our children from a place of strength. Calm gives us strength. Calm gives us the strength to help our child. Because I believe, which is actually true also, that whenever our children are behaving when are we not calm as parents? When our children are behaving in some challenging way, they are doing something that we don't like, and that's what triggers us. But when we understand that whatever our child is doing, whatever, any age group, be it toddlers, be it preschoolers, be it young children, teenagers, whenever they are behaving in a challenging way, a way that you don't understand, you don't approve of, definitely there is something going on underneath. Behavior is what we can see as parents. We can see it. But what we miss sometimes is the underlying layers of feelings. Some unmet needs are there because of which that behavior has come. And basically, the child needs help. The child needs help. I'm not telling that give in to the child. Do whatever your child is saying. That's not what calm parenting is. But at least try and understand that your child needs help. When your child is throwing a tantrum, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, even a 4-5-year-old, and we get tipped off, if we understand that what your child is actually communicating to you is that, Mama, Papa, I'm having these feelings inside. I'm having these feelings that I am not able to handle, this feeling of anger, this feeling of frustration. And it's so much for me to take. I'm just 3 or 4 and I can't handle it. And I will express this behavior in this way, in a challenging way, through a tantrum, through an anger outburst. I'm going to express it like this. And I hope that you understand that actually I need help. I need help because children do not have emotional regulators. When we feel something, we can regulate our emotions. We don't let it come as it is in our behavior. But children, their emotional regulators are still developing. Yes. So that's the reason, one big reason calm parenting is so important, because only then we can help our child who needs help. Definitely. Yes. Definitely. Another thing why calm parenting is important, because we all know children are learning from us. Children are learning from the way we are reacting. So when we get angry, when we get tipped off, when we are not calm, when our child does something that we don't like, we are, in a way, the child is learning that when I don't like something, when my mom does something that I don't like, this is how we react. So I will also start being angry or start reacting in whatever way you react. So most parents must have seen this, that our children do react in the same way we react to them. They start getting angry towards us the same way we start getting. They're learning from us or someone in the family. Yes. So that is another very big reason. Yes.
Yeah, we will surely continue, Dr. Sadhana. But before we continue, I would request our participant kindly switch on your video and keep yourself mute, so that it is very good for our expert also to interact, to look at you and interact. You know, we feel very lively.
Yeah, I would love to look at everyone.
Yeah, so kindly on your video and keep yourself mute, so there is no background noise. And also, if you have any question, you can send in our text box, so that at the end Dr. Sadhana can take questions. If we have available time, we will try to address more and more questions, but we will see, due to lack of time, we have to sum up everything in 45 minutes. So you can please send your questions. Yes, so Dr. Sadhana,
yes, questions are really welcome, and I really want people to have ask questions, because that is what is going to make this more interactive, and I will be able to connect that what is there in your mind.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Dr. Sadhana, just a while, you were just speaking that children, they imitate their parents. So in a
Yes.
way, we can also say ki they mirror their parents. What the parents do, the child do.
Yes,
Right?
definitely, Julie.
Yes. So here, like we know it's very common question from us. Like even we see client coming to us or parents often complaining that we know being calm is very important, but when parents stay calm and if they don't raise voice, our children doesn't listen to us. So ma'am, how do you like to answer this? Like
Wonderful.
parents want to remain calm, but they say that if we don't raise voice, our children doesn't listen to us.
Yes, yes, that's a question that I get so often. That ठीक है, we understand. Calm parenting is important. We need to stay calm as parents. बहुत सुना है, बहुत देखा है. But does it really work? And if we don't shout, then तो बिल्कुल ही नहीं सुनते. Then our children stop listening to us at all. Now let's first understand, Julie, what is calm? What is anger doing? What is punishment doing? What is shouting doing to our kids? What is it actually doing? Let's try and understand. When
Yes.
children
Yes.
behave in a certain, you know what? Anger is very delusional. I'll tell you why. Because when we get angry, it seems that our anger is working. It seems as if when we get angry, our child listens to us. He stops behaving in that way that we are telling our child not to. That's what we think is happening. But think about it. When we get angry at a behavior, does that behavior stop repeating?
Obviously not. I, being myself a parent, I don't see that.
So when we get angry, actually we are reinforcing the behavior. It's very counterintuitive. When we get angry, that behavior keeps repeating. And you know what worse happens? That our anger keeps getting worse with time. Because the amount of anger we were using to stop that behavior stops working after some time. So we have to go to another level. And then that's what it's making our behavior worse, and it's making our children's behavior worse actually. Our anger is reinforcing the child's challenging behavior. If your child screams and then you get angry, why are you screaming like this? Yeah, can you just, mera sir dard ho raha, I'm getting a headache, please, can you just be quiet? Even that reinforces that screaming and shouting. And it makes our behavior worse. That's one thing that it's doing. Second, what anger is doing, it is ruining the connection with our children, in our relationship with our child. That's what it is doing. So, and connection is so important. I keep talking about connection in my sessions also, because we can't really control our child's behavior. That's the hard fact. बिल्कुल जैसे हम चाहते हैं, our children cannot behave according to us exactly all the time. But
yes, of course,
when we share a connection, really we can influence our children's behavior. We can definitely have an influence over our children's behavior. Only connection can give us that, and anger ruins that. Okay, when we get angry too much, we become a background noise to our children. If we start getting angry at everything, we are criticizing, aise mat karo, aise nahi karo, what are you doing, and we are getting intimidated every time. We become a background noise. The value of our anger also decreases when we are getting angry again and again and again. And then again, children are copying our behavior. So that's what we are teaching them as well. See, children are learning to deal with their emotions. They are also feeling feelings of frustration, feelings of anger. They are also feeling what we are feeling. Just the situations are different. See, so the way we are dealing with our anger, they are going to start dealing with theirs. You want them to be calmer? You be calmer. Yeah. So
yes,
that's how what is anger doing. And that's how, and you know, when you start being calm, and you start seeing the result of it, you will be motivated to stay calm. So I'll say just start. Yes, Julie.
So I just received some messages in the box, like there is a question mark. Is it okay to be angry maybe sometimes? So what do you like to say here? Is it okay to be angry maybe sometimes?
Yeah, save it for last.
Okay,
I
sure.
say last. In the end, if you think that you really need to get angry, that will give your anger more value also. Yeah, so save it for last. And there are ways. There are ways. Calm is not the only thing. I'll give another tip over here. Empathy. Empathy really helps us in not being. Start having empathy with children. In literal words, empathy. Matlab, whenever your child is expressing that he doesn't like something or she doesn't like something or whatever you're telling your child to switch off the TV. Your child doesn't want to switch off the TV. This is how these are the situations that we are facing. Your child doesn't want to give the phone back. Your child doesn't want to eat. Whatever the reason is, whenever we are getting, whenever we are getting angry at our children's behavior, we need to understand that that children's behavior are getting reinforced by our anger. Okay, and I was talking about empathy, I'm so sorry. So whenever a child is expressing something that he doesn't want to do or she doesn't want to do, and we just first let a child know that we understand. I don't want to switch off the TV. Really, you don't want to switch off? What are you watching? I'm watching that Ninja Turtle and I don't want to switch it off. Oh, is that interesting? But it is time for the class now. Can we just switch it off and go back to it? So just when you start any conversation with empathy, that you need to give the phone back to me now. I don't want to give the phone back. So when you say, I know, beta, I know you don't want to give the phone back. I know you're enjoying the phone so much, but it is time to give back. You've already been watching it for half an hour. So when we start any conversation with empathy, it gives a better connection, and our conversations with children, they become a dialogue instead of being an argument, instead of being a fight. So empathy is really strong, really strong.
Yes, exactly. I really agree to that. And often it happens like we parents, suppose especially I want to say about working parents, they come back from office frustrated, tired, about overload. And after reaching home, when they see their child and the child is not suppose not listening to them or not sitting to study, and that time it's really tough for those parents to stay calm, right? Because when they don't listen to them, it's really tough. So what do you like to say for those parents when they themselves, they are very much frustrated, tired, exhausted, and at that moment when their children disobeys them, how do they handle themselves?
Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yeah, Divya, actually I think there's some internet connection problem. So now I can hear you. Now it's fine. Yes, now
okay,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I will repeat my
can
question.
you just repeat what you were saying?
Yeah. So these days we
please.
see during lockdown or during the working parents, like most of them, those who stay in the office, they are at home, right? So they are overloaded with their work. They were like almost frustrated with their office work, housework, and at that time when children are near them, they don't listen to them. So parents get so much frustrated, and it's very difficult to stay calm. So what
Yes.
you feel how those parents handle themselves to stay calm?
Yes, very important, very important. Especially if it's lockdown, it's not easy. It's not easy because we have so much workload and children are home all the time. And we have to take care of the children, we have to take care of the house, we have so much, the family members are home mostly. So there are online classes. Even children's education has become our responsibility. So we are in a way homeschooling our children as well. So there's so much going on. I will just start by saying that cut yourself some slack. Have realistic expectations from yourself. We can only do as much as we can, and that's it. So even if you have a routine for yourself and you think your routine is making you stressed out, just realize that routines we make to help ourselves, not to stress ourselves out. So if your routine is not working, see what's not working in your routine and make the changes. Make a routine that helps you, that gives you a direction instead of stressing you out. And be realistic. Have realistic expectations. We just have 24 hours. Okay? So we can do as much as we can. And also have realistic expectations from your kids. See, it's lockdown. It's difficult for us. It's difficult for our kids. There might be more challenging behaviors. You might just plan the day, and when you want your child to do that activity, or you just planned the whole activity and you wanted your child to do it, and maybe your child was not in that mood. It's okay. It's okay. She's also going through feelings. We can do it again. And also there are some age typical behaviors. Okay, at every age, a 2-year-old, 3-year-old will have more tantrums, will be stubborn, a 5-year-old, 6-year-old. These behaviors, anger issues, they're very typical behaviors. It's not that they're not pleasant. I'm not saying that they're pleasant for parents to face, but they're typical. Children do that. You know why? As I told you before, they don't have emotional regulators. Whatever they feel, it comes out in their behavior as it is. As it is. So we need to understand that. So have realistic expectations from them also. That will help you in controlling your anger. Okay, that's one more thing. And then also change your perspective towards your child's behavior. Again, that I have talked about, that we need to understand whenever your child is behaving in a way that you don't like, that is challenging, your child needs help. Mostly your children need help. Another reason that your child is behaving in a way repeatedly your child is getting stubborn, repeatedly your child is getting angry, then you also need to observe that, is my child getting something out of it? Is my child, every time my child cries, do I give the phone back? Do I listen to what my child is saying? Because if your child is getting something out of the stubborn behavior, the anger, or whatever challenging behavior is repeating again and again, then the child is going to automatically repeat because it's working, because they get their way from it. So they are going to indulge in that behavior again and again. So that's another thing that you need to look at, other than the underlying feelings that I'm talking about. So look at your child. I will say get curious instead of getting furious. Change your perspective. So whenever your child behaves in a certain way, let's get curious. Why is the child behaving like that? Okay. Is there anyone displaying that kind of anger?
Yes, my child.
See, yes, and they start.
But I know he is doing it because he is getting a response from me. So what's the next step from my side?
Excuse me, ma'am. I request you to put your question in box so that we can address it later, and keep yourself mute. We will surely address your question. You can send it in inbox, and we will address it later. Thank you so much.
I'll definitely take your question before we leave. Yes, and she has a valid question. Yes, what to do then? What to do? We will get to that. But the main thing is first change your perspective. How to be calm is what I want to talk about. And second, please don't take your children's behavior personally. Sometimes we think they're doing something to us. Why does he behave like this with me only? He doesn't do that with his dad, with his father. किसी को भी नहीं ऐसे बोलता. Or I mean everything. I'm doing everything for him or her, and the whole day is planned around him, and still this is what I'm getting. Don't take children's behavior personally. Trust me, they're not doing anything to you. They're not. They are having their own emotions, own feelings, own baggage inside. Okay. Third thing is to be more conscious of your own baggage, of your own emotional baggage, because that is also because we are stressed out. We are human beings. We are parents, but we are human beings. We do get stressed out. So we have to be more conscious that, especially when you know that right now I'm not in the right state of mind, I just had a fight, or I'm just stressed out because of something, then be more conscious. Then we take a pause before you react. Respond to your children. Don't just react, just start responding. Think before we respond that is tarah se behave kyun kar raha hai? Maybe I am overreacting because of that, the behavior, as Pari said, that yes, we overreact. So when you are conscious, when you're calm, then you're able to understand the situation from a different light and help your child and yourself and the relationship. So yes, calm parenting is very, very important.
Yes, I definitely.
Take care of yourself too. Please. Only when you take care of yourself, you can take care of others, your children. You need to have that diesel in you. So put that diesel in you of taking care of yourself. Find yourself in the list of work that you have to do in your house, and find that time. Take care of yourself. That will give you more. That will give you more strength to deal with your situations. Yes.
Thank you so much. Dr. Sadhana, really it was a clear, like, like you have explained so well, like children of 2 years and 3 years old showing tantrum, how to deal parents with them, and also the teenagers of 16 and 17 years, those who are in class 9, 10. So it's really important to understand when children behave in that way, why they are behaving, from where they are acquiring this kind of behavior. Anybody in the family, anybody in the environment, or maybe mom or dad, from whom they're picking it up or whom they are
Yes.
mirroring. So it is the
Yes.
most important is awareness of the parents, and
Yes.
be aware like how the children from whom they are adapting it, or what is like the emptiness. The parents need to also check their own feelings at the same time,
Yes.
the children's
Yes.
feeling, like what are the emotions, underlying emotions of the feelings. It was a
Yes.
really clear picture. So here, ma'am, we will address some questions here now, or we will put in the last.
We can address questions. Yes.
Okay, fine. So repeatedly, I am getting questions like during this lockdown period, mobile is a high issue. So that many questions have arrived. So even children of 5 years age to class 10 student, those who are at home, always like addicted to mobile. So here the parents are really frustrated. Kya kare?
क्या
समझ
करें?
में नहीं आते. So please throw some
Yes.
light here.
Yes. See, screen time has become challenging because of the lockdown. Children are not going out, so entertainment is screen. Screen is a very big entertainment. Yes, it is, but we still have to limit it. That's why this is the question that I have got, and I'm getting again and again, because we as parents are conscious from inside that screens are only okay to a certain limit, right? So we have to also understand that screen we control. We control the screen. The way we control is, it gets different with teenagers, and it is different with kids, but still we have to remember that we control the screen. Okay, so if you're, so have a designated time for young children. I'll start with, have some designated time, or if you don't have a time in the hour, if you don't have that kind of routine, be aware, be conscious. Maybe 2 hours your child is watching screen, spread those 2 hours. Be more conscious कि अब सुबह नहीं देखा तो अब देख सकते हैं. So just be more conscious. And be alert that you have to take the phone back. You are responsible to take that screen back or switch off that TV and take the phone back. Screens are very addictive. We all know that. We are also addictive to our screens. So they're very addictive. So we have to take responsibility. We should not expect our children to just give them. If they do, wonderful. If your child is not giving, don't think I want my child to give it himself. Usne already he watched it for 1 hour and still he wants to watch it more. There's nothing wrong in wanting to watch more. If your child has already watched the screen for 1 hour and you're asking your child to give the phone back, and your child still wants to watch the screen, doesn't want to give the phone back, there is nothing wrong about it. It's very natural to want something more which you are enjoying. So remember, you control it. So make clear boundaries, make clear rules, and take the phone when it's time, and give it happily. Okay, we all are stressed out about the screen, so sometimes screen is only related to stress. Whenever your child is watching screen, he knows mama and papa, mama is not going to like it. Let's change that association. Give it happily. Because 2 hours dena hai na, we have to give screen for 2 hours. We are not saying that we are going to completely not give screens to our children, especially in this lockdown, but we have to stop, and we have to stop being guilty about giving it. Okay, just be more aware of the content your child is watching, and your and the time frame, of course, that I've talked about. And then when you take the phone back, remember there will be a challenging behavior, because children do not have emotional regulators. So whenever you are going to take the screen back from your child is going to feel something. I don't want to give, the frustration that I still have to give, the anger that I have to give even when I don't want to give, everything. So it's going to come out as it is. And when you take the phone from the child, there will be a challenging behavior. There may be a tantrum, there may be an anger outburst, there may be crying. So be prepared for it. Be prepared for it, and still don't give the phone back. Okay?
Excuse me, I excuse me. I request our participant kindly mute yourself, because so many background noises are coming. So kindly mute yourself, and you can switch on your videos so it is more lively. Yeah, continue, ma'am.
So this here, Pari, I'm going to answer your question here. And because she also asked that, "Kare kya? What to do?" When your child is behaving like that, when you say that we have to be calm, what to do exactly in that situation? So in that situation, I'll give you clear steps. Be calm, empathize, don't give in. Be calm. And then first empathize. If your child says that I wanted to watch more, you didn't give me, aapne mujhse phone le liya, why did you take the phone? You always do this to me. So we say that we empathize. We say that I know beta, I know you don't like that I've taken the phone from you. मुझे भी phone लेके अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, but we still have another hour in the day, in the evening. You can watch it again. So you don't really need to get angry. See, think about it. Your child is getting angry because you took the phone from the child. Why do we need to get angry? Just think about it. So it's okay. Take your child's emotion and empathize and be calm and don't give in. Because if you give in, if you give that phone back because of the challenging behavior, that crying, that tantrum is going to repeat because your child thinks that your child gets his or her way out of it. It becomes addictive. Those behaviors become addictive. Okay? So, but you still don't have to be angry. So this is what you have to do with screens. Have clear boundaries and follow it. Give happily, take calm. Give happily, take calm. And distract. You're not angry. You don't need to. Just have to remember the rules. With teenagers also, I will say, because they mostly have the phones, still boundaries, keeping boundaries is very, very important. So with teenagers, I give you a very simple picture that remember there is a combination of control and maturity with kids, with teenagers. Okay, so you have to remember that how much maturity my child is showing, that much freedom my child will get. Okay, freedom and maturity I'm talking about. So if your child is showing more maturity, give them more freedom. If you can see that your child is using the phone responsibly, is not misusing the phone, is this behavior is fine. See, there are some basic expectations we have from our children, and have this kind of conversation also with your child, with your teenager. Okay, give them as much freedom, as much maturity they show. Otherwise, you have to take that control back. So, and communicate to them with respect. With respect, listen to them and communicate to them. So screens come in the same way. Give them as much freedom as maturity and responsibility they should.
Yes, I definitely agree with you, Dr. Sadhana. And I personally, I also practice this. We have a timetable for my son who is only 5 years old, and I give him mobiles, laptop, but I have a timetable for him. Like, you use 1 hour, and after that you have to study for 2 hours. And it really works for me. I don't have any issue with gadget issues, really. And it really comes with practice. Because what happened, like as you told, children are mirroring us. So when we tell our child, it's 1 hour, please give back the phone. So the child will definitely think you are giving me 1 hour. What about parents? You yourself, you're sitting with hours and hours. So again, they're mirroring here. So we
wow, Julie, thank you so much for putting a light on that. That point is also very, very important, because we are on our phones all the time as parents. Because of the lockdown, even we are only connected with people through phone. So our screen usage is also increased. So be more conscious about that also. I have an Instagram handle. I'm handling it the whole day. So I can really understand the need for using the phone. But having a toddler in my house has made me more conscious about my screen usage. So be more conscious about your screen usage. So maybe what I used to do is I used to keep my phone in the washroom only. So, and whenever I used to go to the washroom, 5 minutes I used to answer, reply, take appointments and everything and come back. So that my son does not look at me, because when we are on the screen all the time, automatically children get attracted towards the screen. So thank you so much, Julie, to putting a light on that. And yes, rules are important, but always remember, children are not going to like our rules every time.
definitely.
Okay. So it's okay. It's okay. Let's empathize that they don't like it and continue with it. And love our children.
And sometimes we can, when we give them a screen, or when we give them mobiles and gadgets, and we are worried what they are watching, maybe we can make friendship with our children and be and sit with them and enjoy that cartoon or that series, whatever they're watching. That really helps, you know.
Yeah, find ways of keeping yourself updated about the content. Find ways. I will just say that if you're a mom who doesn't have help at all in the house, and the only way she gets half an hour to herself is by giving phone to your phone to your 4-year-old for half an hour. So just be around and just keep looking and don't feel guilty. Find ways, lock your phone so that your child can only use that application. Find ways and don't stress out. And don't be scared of their challenging behaviors because of the screen. Don't give in.
Yes, definitely. Because once they know, if I throw my tantrums and my mom and dad agrees to me, each time they're going to do the same thing, right?
It's a vicious
So
cycle, yes.
yes, so that is it's very much important for we parents, and also not only parents and other family members in the house. Like the mom and parents are very much aware, but sometimes the grandparents or the other caregivers. So we really need to make aware to all the family members at home as well. I think so. It's very important.
Yes, yes. We have so many questions.
Yeah. So here we feel someone has asking us if parents provide screen. Okay, we have already spoken about screen. My child recently started asking for chocolate a lot. He keeps crying. How to respond? So again, it is about throwing tantrums, I hope. So ma'am, you would like to say something about it?
Yeah, I've already talked about it. I'll just repeat. See, whenever your child asks for something and you cannot give it to your child, just be calm and just let your child and don't be scared of the behavior. If your child is crying for it, if your child is shouting for it, don't be scared. Especially if it's a pattern that whenever he cries for 10 minutes, you give your child that chocolate, that pattern will make your child do it again and again. So to break that pattern, you'll have to be conscious, and you'll have to consciously take the decision that no matter how much he cries, I will not give it, so that we can break that pattern. But remember, it will only work when you simultaneously, while not giving in to your child's demand, you are calm and you're empathizing and you're understanding that my child doesn't like something and that's why he's or she is behaving like that. It's normal. It's okay for my child to want to eat 10 chocolates in a day. It's not okay for him to eat it, but it is okay for him to want it. So don't be scared of it for him to just don't be scared or nervous that my child wants it. It's okay. We can't give it. That's separate.
So Dr. Sadhana, we have similar questions like how to break the pattern of not giving chocolate. And again,
Okay.
if we know already the child is addicted to such behavior of throwing
Hmm.
tantrums, how do we solve it? So it's similar. So please
Okay.
throw a little light here.
Yeah. See, if your child already has a behavior for a chocolate or a phone or anything, so when you do this for the first time, for example, today you have watched this webinar, and you'll go back to your children, and now mothers or parents who think that their children are getting in this behavior, they are going to start thinking that now I'm not going to give it. Now I'm going to, whenever even if my child asks for a chocolate, and if I've decided, so I'll give you two things. One, if you think in a situation you are not able to control that situation, your in-laws are there are people around because of which, even if you don't give the chocolate and your child starts crying, your in-laws will give it. Someone will give it. You will have to give it in the end. In that situation, I will say give the chocolate before the tantrum starts, before the crying starts, so that there is the association of crying and getting the chocolate is not happening, is not forming. Okay, that is one thing. Second, that you have to remember is that even if you have decided to not give the chocolate, then stick to it. Even if your child is crying for 10 minutes, every time your child has a habit, again, it's a pattern that I cry for 10 minutes, I get the chocolate. When you don't give the chocolate in the first 10 minutes, your child is going to get confused because he or she has not seen this before. Your child is thinking, every time I cry for 10 minutes, my mama gives me the chocolate. Why is it not working this time? What's wrong? And that might just give him the idea of crying for another 5 minutes, or going one level up with the tantrum. Increase the level of the tantrum to get the attention, to get the chocolate, because that is not working. That used to. Here you have to be very careful. To break that association, you still have to continue being calm and empathizing. You still don't have to give in. Don't be scared. Don't be scared of their challenging behavior. Don't be scared of their crying. It's okay. Children will learn to regulate their emotions. They're not going to stay like this forever. They are going to grow. They're going to develop. You be calm, display that, and empathize, and let that behavior pass. There are times when empathizing is also not working because the child is just out of control. Nothing is going in the head. If the outburst is of that level, just be calm and be there. Just be there and let the tantrum pass. Let the outburst pass. That's the only way we can break this association. Your child will get the message that when my mama says no, I can't get it. It's okay. But and then choose your fights, huh? Choose your fights. This will only work when you will choose your fights. So don't criticize. Don't keep correcting your child every time, or don't keep making rules for everything, because that is going to frustrate your child. And children cannot behave according to us all the time.
Yeah, children have their own freedom, their own life. We need to respect also their own feelings and their freedom too. Of course, we
Yes.
have rules and regulation, but up to a limit. So I'm really escaping some similar questions again, like addiction and PUBG. So it's similar questions. Um, I'm trying to attend some new question that is, hi, I am not able to make my child independent in course. He mainly asked me to feed. So Dr. Sadhana, like, what do you say about making child independent behaviors?
In chores. Okay. Okay. See, though the child's age is not mentioned over here, so in general, I will say that if your child is not independent and you want your child to be independent, it's a transition. So you can't expect ki in one day or in some time my child will suddenly start doing the chores. So it's a transition. And how we can move towards that transition is to give your child responsibility and praise. And praise for as much as your child does. If you want your child to clean the toys and your child is only doing 10% in the beginning, praise. Praise for the 10% that your child is doing, not about the 90% that he or she is. So transition towards it, and encourage your child by, and you also display that kind of behavior. So if you have house help in the house and your house help is cleaning the toys every time for you, or your house help is doing your work, just try that your child sees you doing your work, you being more independent, and you can tell your child that we are going to clean the toys today, so you start doing it, and invite your child to do it. And when your child does maybe only 1/10 of it, praise, 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 and definitely your child will start increasing. That 10% will start increasing, and your child will definitely start doing. Don't make it a fight. Ease into it. Ease into it.
Definitely. And I really agree to that. Praising helps a lot. When we praise them, they become more encouraged. And when we demotivate them, like, you cannot do this one, you're not able to do this one, you are very lazy, that will again demotivate them, and they will try to do the opposite. They will never listen to us. So
Yeah.
even if they do 10%, we really need to praise them and encourage them. That really helps.
Yeah. Yeah. Praising gives us a very strong connection also with children. You want your children to listen to you? I will give you very short, I will give you 3-4 tips. Listen to your child. Respect your child. Show what you want. Show them, display the behavior that you want them to display.
Yes.
So that really helps when you will show that respect, when you will show that respect towards your spouse, towards your family members, when your child is around. Your child is learning from us, like Julie said, they're mirroring us. So start doing that more. Have a strong connection and choose your fights. Choose your fights, have more positive interactions. See, our children, the relationship that we are sharing with our children, the only way we can make it positive is by having more and more positive interactions with our children. We actually say that have 1:5. For every negative interaction, have 5 positive interaction with your child. Can you do that? If you do that, your child is going to have a positive relationship with you, will feel positive about the relationship he or she shares with you, and definitely will listen to you more. Because he feels happy about the relationship. When we feel happy about a relationship with someone, aren't we more cooperative with that person?
Yes, Dr. Sadhana, you have already spoken this before, but again, I would like to say, maybe for our late joiners, like participants those who have joined late. If I am louder to my child, if I'm louder to her, she keeps saying, "Don't shout, ma." I have to repeat 2-3 times, and then she never does it, and I have to raise my voice. That means when we parents tell our children in once, go to washroom, go to study, they don't listen us. So we have to raise voice and keep on telling them 2-3 times. This is a very common question. I too, I get this every time.
Pattern. It's a pattern. It's a pattern. Children are used to it. Acha, why is your child not listening to you the first time and listening to you the third time, fourth time, fifth time? What's the difference? It's a pattern. Children are when children when they, because you are saying that every time I have to repeat something 3 times or I have to shout the third, fourth time, only then my child listens. Your child is also used to that pattern. So when you say it the first time, your child is actually thinking, nah, this is not the time. Abhi ek do baar aur bolne do. I mean, that's how they are also now trained to interact with you. Break that pattern. Have more positive interactions with your child. Praise your child more. Have a good relationship. Let your child, because only a connection and a good relationship is going to make your child listen to you more. Okay? And also, if you want your child to listen to you, be very careful of what you are saying and are you following through what you are saying. Because sometimes in order to make our child do something, we say things we don't follow through. We say, ye kar lo nahi to, yeah, for example, if you're sitting in the car, I always use this example. If you're sitting in the car and your child is outside and is not coming in and not sitting, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, and we tend to say, if you won't sit in the car, I'm going to leave you over here. But do we really do that? Whenever we say something, are we doing it? If you will not do this, you're not going to get the phone today for the whole day. And then your child is using the phone in the evening. See, because we are not saying what we are not following through what we are saying, we lose our credibility and our child stops listening to us. So be very careful of saying only what you can follow through. Okay, so say what you mean and mean what you say. That will help you in making your child listen to you. Okay, so if you say that if you won't do this, or you please sit down and please have this. Or give the phone back, or do whatever you want your child to do and you're trying to make your child do, you can attach some line that you can actually follow through. So if you will not sit right now, this is what will happen, and then make that happen so that your child takes you seriously.
Yes. So Dr. Sadhana, thank you very much. And participant, we are really in short of time, and I'm really sorry that all the questions we are not able to take today. But you can definitely follow our expert, Dr. Ishani Sadhana, in her Facebook and Instagram page, and you can personally contact her for any of your queries. I'm sure Dr. Sadhana is going to help you out.
Thank you so much, Julie.
Yeah, and also you are going to get a feedback form in your screen. So kindly give your feedback, yes or no, like whatever you feel comfortable, to our participants. And yes, of course, before I wind up, I like to introduce to our founder of Empower You, Astha Ahuja. So she wants to really say a few words. Ms. Astha Ahuja, I welcome you.
Thank you, Julie. And thank you for a wonderful session, Ishina.
Thank you, Astha. Thank you for having me.
Just one last point that I also see and I also realize is that children are visual learners. Okay, so they learn a lot from your expressions. So I recently have a child, who will draw big eyes with paint, and he'll say, "This is how my mama's eyes are," and that is what the child gets frightened from. The child gets angry, or the child gets fearful from. And that's what you have to stop doing. Expressions are the key to communication. And when you're showing them expressions, you're scaring them, you're making them fearful, and they won't come to you. So it's very important to take care of yourself, your mental well-being as a parent, and then you will be able to take care of your child. You will never be able to raise a happy and healthy child if you are not happy, if you are not healthy. So please take care of yourselves. Dr. Ishina is doing a splendid job. You can contact her with any of your parental concerns or child concerns. You can, if you feel like, follow her. She's doing amazing videos, live sessions, and personal consultations. Talk to her and you will get your solutions. So
Thank you, Astha.
thank you for being here, and thank you everybody for taking part in this session, and thank you for the feedback, and we'll bring some more sessions like this to you because there are so many questions which went unanswered.
Yes.
We'll
Yes,
surely bring
definitely.
some sessions like these to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Astha Ahuja madam and Dr. Sadhana. And I really thank all our participants, those who have joined here. So you can please follow us in our Facebook and Instagram page. It is Empower You. It's okay to talk. So you can definitely contact us for more such interactive sessions and for any counseling assistance. So wishing all a very pleasant evening, and thank you everyone for joining us. And my special thanks to Dr. Sadhana for her enlightenment on calm parenting, and Astha Ahuja for organizing such wonderful webinar.
And congratulations to Empower You for completing 2 years.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So thank you everyone. Have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye.